Hi guys, welcome in. Look at splitting the deck. We have an Emperor and a Four of Wands. All right, so I feel like this is talking commitment vibes. Like, who's this silver fox? Who dis? Oh my goodness. What's this? Four of Wands. Celebrating a milestone, like progress, maybe recognizing your achievements. There's an Ace of Wands, so this is like a new creative project or endeavor. And then we have death, so something's ending and there's this really awesome new beginning playing out. Wow. Well then, that's some boss energy right there. Ooh-wee. People be watching, trying to figure out your next moves. You're way ahead of them. Like, this could be you. You could be this Emperor energy, or there's an Emperor energy coming in for you. All right, so, interesting. Look at, they may have something that I'm getting like this could be incoming communication or fast movement. This could be coming in fast, or things are going to pick up a bit, that kind of energy. All right, so we got some good stuff to cover today in our reading. We're going to ask our angels, saints, ancestors, and guides into our space to provide love and divine messages for our highest and greatest good. We're surrounded in divine white light. So it is, and so it will be. All right. Knock, knock, knock. Okay. Knight of Swords. I feel like you could be, I'm getting like gossip. I'm getting like all right, so sorry about that. I feel like there's like maybe some disruption going on since I just had one trying to do this reading. And I was like, what's this Knight of Swords? And then the Five of Pentacles came out. On the bottom of the deck is the Devil. So I'm getting like there could be some sort of like dark night of the soul going on. It could have something to do with like codependency or someone's temptation or addiction, something that's like controlling. There's the Nine of Cups here. This could also be a breakup in a situation, maybe even like a loss of access to funds, stability, security, maybe even like a family dynamic. So I feel like that's kind of what is playing out in the background here. I'm getting like this may not necessarily be your specific reality, but I feel like this is something that is like a downswing and then there's an upswing. So it's kind of like a part of a lesson being learned at this time. Okay. And awesome about the Devil is that the Devil is a master teacher, right? It is almost like the dean of Earth School. Kind of in a sense that like we learn the most, right? We're constantly working on integrating and all of that. And so this is showing us exactly where we need to focus. And so someone could have been like heavily indulging this party lifestyle, possibly, maybe entertaining many. And it's actually like caused disharmony in their life. I feel like something else has a hold of them. So they're experiencing, a bit of having to hit rock bottom in order to build it back better, right? There's a need to kind of like, okay, there's a reset playing out here for someone, right? And so it's like, really, what are you prioritizing in life? What are you valuing? What are you doing with yourself? How are you contributing? Or, what are you letting have control over you? It's like something else has the power. So I feel like that's not what this person's purpose here on this planet is to be in this energy forever. So I feel like this is a bit of a wake-up call for somebody. Yeah, I feel like someone is definitely going to have to like prioritize shit in their life because they're prioritizing the wrong things. They want to be so wealthy and they're wanting to like portray this image, but I'm getting like you know, they're like going about it the wrong way. I feel like it starts with them. Like maybe they're wanting people to see them in this energy, but honestly they're really in this energy, right? Like calculating, planning, plotting, lying, defaming, bullying. It's like doing whatever it takes in order to have some sort of status in life, right? I feel like there is also like this energy of moving away towards peace and, you know, not having the best memories of the past, but not letting that prevent you from moving on, right? So there's also this energy of like moving on. Maybe they're having a hard time moving on, okay? And so they're calculating and planning, you know, some sort of demise, but as they continue to calculate your demise, they're the one experiencing the demise. Okay, so it's like their turn to learn, you know, what it means to find self-worth. Okay, I feel like the master teacher and lesson in this situation is self-worth, and so they may have taught you or was some catalyst in some way for you about your self-worth. And I feel like now it's their turn. Now it's their turn. Okay, so there's a lesson playing out here. All right, there's a soul lesson. Like maybe even like to the extent of like a soul contract. Okay, so let me, yeah, and then here's that devil at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Okay, so we have a bit of that. I'm just going to I'm going to get a couple soul contract cards real quick. One sec. Let's see. Is that what this contract was between the two? Like, did they have some sort of assignment, agreement with one another? Or was this a karmic lesson? Thank you. Let's see. Trust the universe. Trust in the universe's design. Everything is unfolding at the perfect moment. Everything's unfolding at the perfect moment. Faith, surrender, divine plan. So yes, there was a plan. Okay, thank you. I was like, is there another card? And they're like, yes. Okay. We also have secrets of time. Time is not your enemy, but your ally. Everything unfolds at the perfect moment. Okay. Divine timing, cyclical rhythms, patience, and trust. And then we have deep healing. Allow yourself to heal. It's essential for your soul's growth and renewal. Soul healing, emotional release, and inner restoration. So yeah, I'm getting like this was a catalyst for your healing. There's healing needed. All right, and there was a heart contract here. Okay, your soul shares a unique contract with another. Treasure this rare connection. Emotional bond, soul agreement, love's promise. Okay. So this was a agreement, an arrangement in some fashion to be a catalyst for healing, because there is a heart contract on the other side of this healing. Okay, there was like this initiation, there was this catalyst for awakening, and then there's this beautiful contract here. I'm not necessarily getting that it was with this person, okay, or this King of Pentacles, you know, depending on, you know, the energy here. So give me the fourth card here. Spirit Circle. Your soul is connected to a circle of spirits. Together you share a mission that unites your hearts across time and space. And it says soul circle, energetic connection, shared purpose. So you may have had an agreement to ignite one another, kick off spiritual awakenings or dark night of the souls, or maybe you had an agreement to go on an ascension path with one another. Maybe one of you has done that, and maybe this is the catalyst for this person to go down that path. This is the dark night of the soul with the Five of Pentacles. So depending on, are we done with these? Yeah. Depending on like what's playing out here, everybody's different, you know what I mean? Like only take what resonates for you. But like them going through like an ego death, a dark night of the soul, right? It's super hard to face your fears. So I'm getting like there's someone having to face their fears, and maybe they're not used to going through this kind of stuff alone, right? So there's this like wanting to hold one back, right, from moving forward. But this is a solo journey here. Okay, there are resources available. Okay, the light's on. So this lets you know that like, even though you're very concerned about your current situation, there's still hope, there's still help, and there's still resources. But you have to be open to that. Like you can't change your circumstance or situation unless you're open to making changes, okay? Or seeking help or resources. Maybe, humbling oneself, right? To accept help, right? To not know it all or have it all or be the one to fix it, or to just choose not to fix it. There's always that too. So I feel like there's an energy here that's struggling with, maybe accepting, something as it is. There's a bit of like still trying to manipulate here and control. I feel like this is a bit of like accepting the inevitable here and a need to kind of like surrender. That's what I'm getting. It's almost like surrender that it was a lesson, not a curse. But if you want to make it a curse, that can be accommodated. It's like whatever you believe in, you create your reality. Confirmation, Wheel of Fortune, okay? Yeah, I feel like this is an end of a cycle, okay? This is something that has come to completion. If there was any kind of contract here, it is complete. Okay, so if anyone had any doubts about that, I feel like lesson learned, okay? Someone is evolving from the lesson, okay? There's like this moving on from, okay? Beautiful. 10 is relevant. Okay, so we're gonna get a bit more info here. I thought we'd use a little bit of these cards. Let's see what we can get here for information on this. Yeah, look at childhood trauma unhealed, and then we have ego death. That's kind of what I'm getting here. It's like not wanting to face reality, truth, having to look at yourself, having to think about like making changes in your life, and like resistance to change. And if you don't have to see it, feel it, know it, then it doesn't exist kind of energy. It's like, no, someone's gonna have to face it, face the fears, face the experiences that were had, right? Like, it's okay to move on from this. It's okay to release this. It happened and it's not going to happen again. However, I feel like someone is recreating this, maybe for other people, but as an adult. And so at some point, there needs to be something that comes in that is going to, be a catalyst here. I'm getting like there's a need to kind of like do something different, right? Yeah. All right, so let's see what we got here. Thank you. I do have success, abundance, and stability. All right, so this could be, you know, somebody wanting to have this for themselves, right? Sees themselves in this energy, maybe sees you in this energy now, and it's something that they're wanting and coveting. Maybe they're not in the best situations at this time, and you're looking real bright and shiny, golden. Like this person likes shiny things, shall we say. Yeah, it's the energy I was getting. It's false masculine energy. It's watching for red flags. Okay. Let's see. I feel like they're experiencing some sort of like health issue or spiritual sickness here. They may need to seek help. They should seek some help. Help is available. If anyone needs help, I always recommend that they go to the emergency room or they call the police. Okay? Manifest the life that you desire. Okay? I'm getting like someone could be manifesting you and you're manifesting them, and you could be heading straight to one another. Okay? Your soulmate twin flame is on the way. All right? Again, I was getting like that heart contract. Okay? If you're picking up this energy over here, they want you to redirect your thoughts. Okay? Listen to something that's positive and uplifting, okay, instead. Yeah, I feel like there is something that's playing out here that is a catalyst for, you know, them to have to go within and really work on themselves in some way, all right? There's a need to surrender. There's a need to have faith that everything is actually help happening for you, not to you. There's like time's not your enemy, it's your ally. Everything's unfolding at the perfect moment. You know, if something is falling apart in some sort of relationship or dynamic or in your life, like maybe you're just totally unbalanced, like you're a mess, everything's a mess, you know, surrender it. Right? Surrender it and ask for help to get back on track. Everybody falls down and everybody deserves to get picked back up. But I feel like you're the one that has to pick yourself back up. I feel like someone's not really willing to accept help. So I feel like the first thing that needs to happen is that you need to want help. You want to do different. It starts with you. Okay? I feel like, you know, this is only hurting them at this point. All right. So I feel like whatever they thought they had may have been very false. And as a result, like things are crumbling as they should. These things cannot flourish. Okay. Based on what's happening. Like these are things that are short term, not long term. And they're built off false foundations. And that is what is no longer resonating. All right. That's what's no longer resonating here. There's deep healing needed in this situation. And I feel like this is the catalyst for this. This is like, all right, you want to learn the hard way? We'll show you the hard way. I feel like, you know, they continued to do whatever it took to, you know, dabble in this and dabble in that and win this and, you know, buy that. And, you know, they were partnered with somebody who was going to mirror back to them what it's like to be in a relationship with them so that they could see it from the other person's point of view. What's it like to be in a relationship with you? What's it like to deal with this kind of behavior? What's it like to be, you know, juggled, right? Betrayed, okay, deceived, right, taken advantage of, okay, lied about, slandered, stalked, right, while you're just trying to, you know, navigate life, right? Check this out, like, tower, you know, I feel like this is something that is playing out. I feel like they thought you were like an easy target. They've been holding on to this grudge this whole time. Okay? They didn't see your value and worth and they discarded you. Well, guess what? I'm getting they're the one being discarded now. But here's the thing. This is the way it plays out because this is how we learn. This is what triggers us into deep healing. It's what triggers us to look at our patterns and the processes that we continue and cycles that we continue to allow, right? There's a need to change. There's a need to adapt. And that is the purpose of this experience. With these individuals, with these lessons, okay? It's all part of a divine plan, okay? So these were like soul lessons. These were like, I'm going to teach you this and you're going to teach me that. Like relationships or assignments, okay? And I feel like anyone that comes against you is going to learn a lesson because that's part of your role here. You're someone who teaches others just by being in their life. And sometimes there's major life lessons with this. And maybe you're despised because of this sometimes. I feel like you're starting to learn that about yourself, that like it's okay to have the experiences that you have. And some of them may be very difficult and painful, but there's a role that you play that's very important. And I feel like you're giving yourself the love and compassion that you deserve because you somehow walk away from these relationships and there's always something there for you as a takeaway. And that's how you experience life. You see things as if there's something always to take away from it. There's always something to gain. There's always something to become aware of. And there's always something to grow from. And I feel like maybe that's the point of view you share. I'm getting like angels are with you and they protect you from this energy, right? So you are the opposite, right? This is like an empath, narcissist dynamic. I feel like this is also a master teacher here, okay? I have two masters, right? They literally, especially in the physical realm, the time and space, right? Earth, these are the opposites, right? These are the duality, the polarity, the good and bad, and how we see this in our society, our culture, our mindset. It projects whatever we experience in our life. And it's like, okay, are we going to let this control us and we're going to project this? Or are we going to go within and work on things like ego, shadow, pain, trauma, right? So that we're not projecting that. We're creating something different. That's what this is about. It's about going within and realizing like, hey, like, do I really want to experience this over and over and over again in multiple formats? No, I don't. So I feel like there's a bit of like healing this so that there's better alignment, there's better community, there's unity, there's higher consciousness, right? There's shared purpose, right? So we experience what we experience here, you know, and I feel like you experienced something that pushed you closer to your spiritual authenticity. Like you really stood on business. You're like, this only made me stronger, okay? This spiritual hater who is going to experience deep healing, okay? Confirming water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. I'm getting like water remembers. There's wisdom here. Okay, it says water signs, spiritual circle. Your soul is connected to a circle of spirits, okay? Together you share a mission that unites your hearts across time and space, all right? So maybe someone's waking up to the fact that like, oh shit, I'm starting to connect to this. What is this? I don't understand this. Maybe these water signs, the spiritual haters, the ones who are maybe just in their heavy emotions, maybe it's not water, but I'm getting like memory. Someone could be now starting to get glimpses of like memories, okay? Like their soul remembers, okay? And it could be this narcissist, right? I feel like the narcissists are collapsing and they're going through an ego death and they very much could be waking up, okay? So either they're waking up or they're transitioning, one of the two. It's up to them, all right? There's karmic debt playing out here. I feel like that's also part of like your takeaway, was that like this experience helped your soul release karmic debt, learn the lessons that you came here to learn, and now you're moving on to the next lesson. Yeah. And that's with this soulmate here. All right. I feel like regardless, whoever this energy is, all right, they could have accumulated karmic debt, and as a result, they need to continue to focus on their lessons. So they could be experiencing some of that, and they'll go through that process through the dark night of the soul and the ego death and all the things. But you're heavily protected here. Let me get a couple more cards. I'm getting like this was a third party involvement here. I feel like there is something that was done that was fraudulent or illegal. The third party could have involved them in something fraudulent here. So they could be paying back like karmic debt through that process, through the third party. It's how they're paying back karmic debt as it relates to the cycle they had with you, a contract. Oh, crap. Yeah, it's messy, all right. Okay, so I just put him back. Bottom of the deck, sleeping with the enemy. All right. So, let's see. So we all learn our lessons through multiple different people, right? Our relationships are our assignments. And so they made a bad judgment call. And as a result, like they're maybe dealing with legal issues. Okay. Look at, they're dealing with God's wrath and judgment. All right. So there's accountability playing out here, especially after a spiritual hater may have come after a deep healer. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah. Third party and their toxic friends. Okay. Whatever they did was illegal. And they could be held accountable at this time. Yeah, I feel like they came after a partnership. Okay. They came after a marriage. Because there was happiness and joy and emotional fulfillment with this. It's like somebody did want someone to be happy. Somebody was jealous of someone's relationship and decided to take it for themselves. That's what I'm getting. And they involved others to do it. It was a whole plot. It was a whole plan. Okay. Somehow someone like also came after someone's abilities or abused abilities, or maybe this is why they came after this relationship, because of your gifts and your abilities and what you're here to do, right? You belong to a spiritual circle, right? This is you. You connect with the all right? Your soul is connected to a circle of spirits. Together you share a mission that unites your hearts across time and space, okay? So I feel like you were the target here. Yep. Or they didn't realize who they were messing with until they messed around and found out. So it could be that too. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah. In the near future, there's this union here. There is this like happiness, joy, and happily ever after energy for the Earth Angel special mission. So yeah, I don't know that they necessarily knew exactly what they were messing with, but I feel like they found out. I feel like this is you in the near future, okay, having the emotional joy and happiness that you rightfully deserve. So congratulations to you. That's awesome. I love that for you. Love it. Yeah, they worked with others to create chaos and conflict for you. So whatever efforts you were trying, they were working against you. And they involved others to do it. So if you have a business and they worked against your business, that's illegal. Okay, they may have actually done like fraudulent things. They may have actually did like a coordinated effort to pretend to be something that they're not. I'm getting someone wants to reconcile here. I'm getting it's the false masculine, but it also could be a feminine. I am clarifying the false masculine though. Okay. Yeah, confirmation that the health issues and the spiritual sickness is a direct result of them sleeping with the enemy. Okay? A direct result. That enemy could be an air sign. I mean, an air sign. It also could be a fire sign. Aries, Leo, Sag. Aries, Leo, Sag. Woo-wee! Look it. Look it, look it, look it, look it. Come on now, I can't make it up. Alright. Someone wanted to be a player. Now they're going to have to remain a player. Okay? Someone wanted to, you know, be for the most. Let them have the most. Okay. I feel like you're divinely protected by Saint Michael. Thank you, Saint Michael. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I feel like they're heavily experiencing like a downfall. I feel like there could be a cause of concern for someone's addictions, okay? Money, sex, gambling, drugs. I feel like there is some sort of new home. I'm wondering if this spiritual hater stalks your house. Yeah, I would be cautious. I feel like there is prison, either physical or spiritual, playing out for this energy. Water signs is what it's confirming here. Okay. They could be going, they could feel like they're imprisoned, restricted, or spellbound, or feeling like stuck in toxic energy, like stuck in a web, like whatever web they created, they're stuck in it. And they're with a black widow, okay? They're with the exact example of themselves. So their wickedness is who they're with. It's a direct mirror back to them on who they are and how they act and what they're like to be in a relationship with. That's what's happening right here. Okay? All right, and you know, this is like, look at, moving towards a relationship where, you know, someone wants to be with you and only you. And this energy is always going to want to be with everybody. They're for everybody. Okay. So that is why someone walked away, right? Feel like you dodged it. Okay. Yeah. They will always wear a mask. They will always pretend to be something that they're not. And you don't even know who this person is. Okay. Yeah, I feel like you work with the divine, you pray. Pray for their soul. They need healing, okay? But they are in charge of their own healing, all right? We have an ego death playing out here, all right? Yeah, they could be trying to fight an ego death. I have an earth sign, okay? Has something to do with the ego death, as well as the prison, physical or spiritual. And then I have working with others to cause chaos and drama. So something about an earth sign, something about like others working against like some sort of like connection now or then or in the future. Okay. I feel like divine justice is playing out, and so is universal law. There are laws above man, right? And in the near future, the friends are the ones that are going to betray. And so is the third party. So they're all doing something behind this person's back, all right? Very calculating. Okay, this is all going to be playing out soon. They'll find out soon enough. All right, so the people that are in their circle, their inner circle, okay, the one in their inner circle are the ones that are going to betray them, if they haven't already. And it could result in, you know, spiritual or physical jail. All right, you're being asked to talk to your spirit guides, ancestors, and saints, okay? There could be something that they want to make sure that you are aware of. Okay, and then I also have there's a new opportunity and they want you to take a risk. Okay, so you're being asked to kind of like go for it. Okay, and then don't worry about the past. It's handled. Okay, it be handled. All right, you guys. I'm gonna leave you here. I think that we covered quite a lot of ground. You know, it's playing out. It is what it is. You know, pray for your enemies. You know what I mean? Like, we all, as humans, as a species, need prayers. So, you know, we're all dealing with it in one way or another, aren't we? But I'm glad that I have you guys. I'm glad that we've connected, and I'm grateful for your support, and hopefully you feel my support, and hopefully, you know, we can continue to grow together and expand and be better humans, hopefully, right? I know not everybody wants to do that, but the ones that do, they can stay and watch. The ones that don't, they can go, or they can learn one way or the other, right? One way or the other. All right, you guys, I will see you on the next reading. I appreciate you watching the channel, and take care now. Bye.